story was written up in the Canberra Times that detailed the depths of harm Mr and Mrs Kajarin were experiencing from gambling that ultimately ended with Mr Kajarinen taking his own life in March 2020. The family have bravely spoken to the media outlining allegations of predatory behaviour by the Hellenic Club that they reported to the ACT Gambling and Racing Commission 4 years ago. I can barely speak to how angry this makes me feel that this family has been waiting 4 years for the Commission to finalise its investigation and reach an outcome. I cannot possibly fathom what the Commission has been doing for 4 years. There have been many other commissions conduct investigations and inquiries into similar complaints made against other venues around Australia. The New South Wales Independent Casino Commission into Star Casino conducted their inquiry in 10 months. The Royal Commission into Crown Melbourne was 9 months. The Royal Commission into Crown Perth was 12 months. The Bergen inquiry, an inquiry under the Casino Control Act in New South Wales, took 13 months. The New South Wales Crime Commission inquiry into money laundering in pubs and clubs took 10 months. When you contrast these timeframes for significant investigations and inquiries to the ACT Gambling and Racing Commission, that the Canberra Times article reports have one complaint against one venue and we are still waiting on the outcomes of their investigation 4 years on. These other inquiries and investigations, I have little doubt, were substantially resourced to conduct these. But I've sat opposite the Minister for Gambling, Minister Rattenbury, and the Gambling and Racing Commission in hearing after hearing. I've had multiple briefings and never once has there been an indication that there are funding or resource issues to conduct compliance activity or investigations. There is no world where this timeframe is acceptable. To me, this case exemplifies the entire purpose of the Gambling and Racing Commission's remit and function to work in the public interest, to minimise criminal and unethical activity and reduce the risks and costs of gambling harm to an individual and the wider community. I cannot see how the Commission has performed its functions to the expectations of the Canberra community. It is also completely unacceptable that the family have not been provided any information on the progression of this case for 4 years. I call on Minister Rattenbury to urgently amend the investigative provisions to ensure that further trauma is not inflicted and the situation can never occur again. The other issue I have is that the complaints raised by the family reported in the Canberra Times are the worst of the worst. They allege predatory, manipulative behaviour to encourage attendance at a venue and to play poker machines despite the alleged known harm that was occurring. The fact that this investigation has been going on for 4 years without any extra scrutiny, sanctions, eyes on the venue, that it was allowed to operate business as usual for 4 years ongoing is absolutely not acceptable. If such serious harm has been alleged and investigations is 4 years ongoing, then there need to be measures in place to monitor a venue's activities until such time that an outcome of an investigation has been finalised. And again, I'll be writing to Minister Rattenbury on this issue. I extend my deepest sympathies to the family and all families who have lost loved ones to gambling-related harm. A paper published in the leading medical journal, The Lancet, in December last year looked at gambling-related suicide in Victoria. From nearly 5,000 suicides in the state over an 8-year period, 4.2% of these were associated with gambling harm. And that is likely an underestimation due to the fact that gambling problems are often hidden from loved ones and not routinely investigated by coroners. The ACT government's website that reports deaths, intentional harm or suicide. There are some 14 deaths per 100,000 people, so approximately 60 to 70 deaths in 2021, which I note is above the national average. We don't know how many of these deaths in which gambling played a role, but there is no reason to believe that it would be any different from Victoria. Gambling harms, sometimes catastrophically, which is why transparent, fair and prompt functions of the Gambling and Racing Commission to uphold the laws to protect people from gambling harm are so important. Thank you.